Have you ever wondered where our darkest stories come from? The ones that haunt us even now? We like to think we've outgrown ancient fears, but some legends refuse to die. What if the line between myth and reality is thinner than we think? Our story is about Pazuzu, a demon king whose name once inspired terror across Mesopotamia. In ancient times, people saw gods and demons in every force of nature, every unexplained illness. Pazuzu wasn't just a monster, he was the embodiment of their deepest anxieties. His legacy has outlasted the empires that first feared him. Let's journey back to where belief shaped reality and see how one demon's story still echoes today. So, who was Pazuzu? What role did this figure play in the lives of the ancient Mesopotamians? He was the king of the wind demons, a formidable entity in their complex belief system, and said to be the son of Hanbi, a god of the underworld. His lineage alone spoke of immense power and a connection to the darkest realms. Pazuzu ruled the scorching desert winds, the very breath of devastation that swept across the land, bringing with them fever, famine, and untold suffering to the people. He was the embodiment of the harsh environment they lived in. In a world without medicine or scientific understanding, his name explained every sudden illness, every bout of inexplicable fever, and every instance of failed crops that threatened their survival. He was the unseen hand behind their misfortunes. Artists, tasked with capturing his essence, gave him a terrifying form, a grotesque amalgamation of animalistic features designed to inspire both fear and respect. He was often depicted with the head of a lion or a dog, symbols of ferocity and untamed power, reflecting his dominion over the wilder aspects of nature. Eagle talons representing his predatory nature and his ability to strike swiftly and decisively from above. 4 wings allowing him to traverse the realms between the mortal world and the heavens, and a scorpion's tail, a venomous reminder of the pain he could inflict. Every feature was a warning, a carefully constructed image designed to instill dread. He was the living nightmare of Mesopotamia, a constant reminder of the precariousness of their existence. His monstrous form symbolized his power over wild, destructive forces, the storms, the droughts, and the plagues that could decimate entire communities. He was the personification of chaos. To the ancients, Pazuzu was the face of suffering, the embodiment of all the hardships they endured in their daily lives. But he was also a way to make sense of chaos, to give a name and a face to the unpredictable forces that governed their world. By naming their fears, by acknowledging Pazuzu's power, they could try to fight back, to find ways to protect themselves from his wrath. But that fight would take a strange turn, leading to unexpected alliances and a re-evaluation of Pazuzu's role in their lives. If you're fascinated by these ancient stories and want to delve deeper into the mysteries of Mesopotamia, don't forget to like and subscribe for more insights into this captivating civilization. The ancient world was full of terrifying entities, beings of immense power that could bring devastation and despair. But within this landscape of fear, there existed a fascinating paradox, a glimmer of hope found in the most unexpected of places. Here's the twist. Pazuzu, initially known as the bringer of plagues, the spreader of disease and misfortune, underwent a remarkable transformation. He became a protector, a guardian against even darker forces. The ancients believed that the only thing that could effectively fight a powerful demon, a creature of immense supernatural strength, was an even stronger one, a force capable of matching and overcoming its malevolent power. His main enemy, the primary target of his protective rage, was Lamashtu, a demoness who was particularly feared for her attacks on vulnerable mothers and their newborn children. She was the embodiment of infant mortality and maternal suffering. To keep her away, to ward off her evil influence, people invoked Pazuzu's name in rituals and prominently displayed his image in their homes as a deterrent. His terrifying face, with its grotesque features and intimidating gaze, was believed to scare off other malevolent spirits, especially the dreaded Lamashtu. He was never considered a benevolent or good demon in the traditional sense, but his intense hatred and rivalry for Lamashtu, his unwavering opposition to her evil deeds, made him a useful, albeit dangerous ally. Inviting Pazuzu into your life, summoning his power for protection, was a dangerous bargain, a risky proposition with potentially unforeseen consequences, essentially fighting evil with evil, a desperate measure in a world teeming with supernatural threats. This uneasy alliance, this acceptance of a lesser evil to combat a greater one, reveals a great deal about how the ancients perceived the world, not as a simple dichotomy of black and white, good and evil, but as a complex interplay, a delicate balance of opposing powers constantly vying for dominance. Sometimes, in the face of overwhelming darkness, you needed a monster, a creature of immense power and terrifying presence, to keep even worse monsters at bay, to safeguard the vulnerable from unimaginable horrors. It's a profound lesson in the inherent complexity of fear, the desperate measures taken for survival, and the unsettling truth that sometimes protection comes from the most unlikely of sources. How did people use Pazuzu's power? Through idols and amulets. Archaeologists have found countless Pazuzu statues and amulets across ancient Iraq and Syria. These objects weren't for worship. They were magical shields against evil. Mothers wore Pazuzu amulets to protect their children from Lamashtu. The demon's image was both a warning and a weapon. Fear became a tool, not just an emotion. These talismans spread Pazuzu's image everywhere, embedding him in the culture. When faced with threats beyond control, people turned to any power that might help, even a monster. These artifacts are more than relics, they're symbols of hope and desperation. Next, let's see how Pazuzu's legend leapt from ancient dust to modern nightmares. For centuries, Pazuzu was forgotten, buried beneath the sands. But evil stories have a way of returning. In the 20th century, Pazuzu was rediscovered and reimagined. William Peter Blatty found him while researching The Exorcist. The film's iconic statue brought Pazuzu's image to millions, transforming him into a symbol of pure evil. No longer a complex protector, he became the face of modern horror. The ancient curse found new life in cinema, haunting a new generation. Pazuzu's story was reborn, more terrifying than ever. In the annals of history, some figures linger, their influence echoing through the ages. Pazuzu, the ancient Mesopotamian demon, is one such figure. But is Pazuzu's curse truly still with us, lurking in the shadows of our modern world, or has his power waned with the passage of time? Perhaps not as a literal demon, breathing fire and wreaking havoc, but certainly as a powerful story, a narrative that continues to resonate within our collective consciousness. The tales of Pazuzu have evolved, adapted, and found new life in unexpected places. The Exorcist, a cinematic masterpiece, catapulted Pazuzu into the modern lexicon. The film transformed him into a chilling symbol of evil, a malevolent force capable of possessing and corrupting the innocent. The Exorcist didn't just entertain, it tapped into primal fears, anxieties that have haunted humanity for centuries. It unearthed our deepest insecurities about the unknown, the unseen, and the potential for darkness within ourselves. The fear of possession, the idea that an external entity could seize control of our minds and bodies, of losing control, of surrendering our autonomy, still unsettles us, even in this age of scientific enlightenment. It speaks to our vulnerability, our inherent fragility in the face of forces beyond our comprehension. Pazuzu's image, once a protective deity in ancient Mesopotamia, is now shorthand for ancient unknowable evil, a representation of the darkness that lurks beneath the surface of our reality. He appears in art, often depicted with grotesque features and menacing wings, music, where his name and imagery are invoked to create an atmosphere of dread and foreboding, and pop culture, permeating our entertainment media and shaping our understanding of the supernatural. He serves as a potent reminder that some stories, particularly those that tap into our deepest fears and anxieties, never truly die. They are passed down through generations, evolving and adapting to new contexts, but always retaining their power to unsettle and intrigue. The curse, if we can call it that, is not supernatural in the traditional sense, but psychological. A manifestation of our own internal anxieties and fears. It's a legend that still evokes dread, not because Pazuzu possesses any real power over us, but because he represents the darkness within ourselves and the anxieties that plague our minds. We may no longer wear his amulets, seeking protection from his wrath, but we still wrestle with the same fundamental questions about evil, about the nature of darkness, and about our own capacity for both good and evil. Pazuzu's legend endures not because of his supernatural abilities, but because our fears endure, because the anxieties that fueled his rise to prominence in ancient Mesopotamia are still very much alive within us today. These stories, these echoes of the past, reach across time, refusing to let go, reminding us of the enduring power of myth and the enduring nature of human fear. If you're intrigued by these echoes of the past, and want to delve deeper into the mysteries of ancient legends and their impact on our modern world, subscribe for more explorations. We started by questioning the line between myth and reality. Pazuzu's story shows they're deeply intertwined. He was born from real fears, given monstrous form, and became both curse and protector. His legend is a mirror of the human condition, our need to explain, to survive, to hope. These stories are not just relics, they're part of who we are. They remind us that darkness and light are often mixed. By sharing these tales, we keep them, and their lessons, alive. Our stories define us, and Pazuzu's tale still has much to teach. Be brave enough to look into the shadows and share what you find.